Hi guys, here's my very quick review of the Royal Rumble 2023 premium live event that emanated live from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. I was really disappointed by the lack of surprise entrants this year. I mean, excluding Brock Lesnar, Booker T was the only real surprise and legend in the match. And while Booker actually looked really good, it would have been nice to have a couple more legends in the Royal Rumble too, but never mind. The two men I need to give massive props to are Gunther and Sheamus, who entered at number 1 and number 2 respectively. Sheamus is in my top 5 active wrestlers at the moment. Let's talk about Cody Rhodes, who entered at number 30 and won the match, last eliminating Gunther. I'm a big fan, and I've been a fan of his ever since his dashing Cody Rhodes days over a decade ago. So overall, I was really glad to see him win. I thought, it went to the right person. My only problem here was the lack of tension at the end of the match, because it was between him and Gunther as the last two in the match. I didn't believe for a second that Gunther was going to be able to win the Royal Rumble match. It would have made more sense for me to have either Logan Paul or Seth Rollins in the final two. I thought WWE was smart to keep Sami Zayn out of this match because no doubt if he was included in this, then he would have been the crowd favourite all the way through, and if he wasn't going to win, then you would have a similar situation to a few years ago when Daniel Bryan was in the match and he was eliminated and the crowd turned on the entire thing, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it's a good job that they kept him out of this, and he had something bigger to do. Next was the utterly worthless pitch black match between Bray Wyatt and LA Knight. Luckily this was short at just 5 minutes. Wyatt dominated the entire thing and then hit Knight with the Sister Abigail neckbreaker for the pinfall. After the match, Wyatt put on a new mask that we'd never seen before, apparently debuting some kind of new character, and then he dragged Knight over to a staging area where Uncle Howdy appeared and jumped onto him. Unlike so many fans, I cannot stand Bray Wyatt and haven't been a fan for years now. The last time I enjoyed anything about Bray Wyatt and this act was in his cult leader days with the Hawaiian shirt, if you remember. This hocus pocus stuff in wrestling really turns me off, and I guarantee that this new mask and this new character that they've debuted will do nothing to forward Wyatt's story. Next, Bianca Belair defeated Alexa Bliss to retain the Raw Women's Championship. This was nothing more than a TV match to me. It went on for 7.5 minutes, and I don't think Alexa Bliss posed any threat to Belair at all. Bianca Belair has been on a tear since she won the belt all the way back at WrestleMania in April last year. There was no way on earth that she was going to lose it to creepy Alexa. After the match, they played a video with Uncle Howdy showing Alexa Bliss different images from her past. It was more spooky, hocus pocus nonsense. I assumed that when Vince went, they would stop all of this. I thought it would be him that was insisting that this was on the TV, but apparently not. They're still insisting on this rubbish, and it's just embarrassing. And then it was the Women's Royal Rumble match. Last year's Women's Royal Rumble was a total disaster, so the only way was up this time round. The big difference here was the inclusion of some of the NXT women who made a big difference in this match. Zoe Stark in particular put in an impressive showing. She lasted an entire 26 minutes before being eliminated by Sonya Deville. The former Doudrop entered the Rumble under her actual name of Piper Niven, and I popped big time for that. I'm a huge fan of Piper. I think she's an incredible talent. Clearly, WWE can see that promise in Piper Niven too, as she remained in the match for 28 whole minutes. Nia Jax entered at number 30, and I was unimpressed to see her back. She was released in 2021, apparently due to budget cuts, but in actual fact, she'd made an entire career of injuring other wrestlers on a regular basis, sometimes seriously injuring them, so I hope they haven't signed Nia Jax back to a full-time contract unless she's improved massively somehow in the last year or so. Rhea Ripley won the match, and she was a deserving winner as well, and if she goes on to face Bianca Belair at WrestleMania, then she will definitely be a credible threat to her, unlike Alexa Bliss was tonight, so I'm looking forward to seeing that match, if that is the match that they have in mind for the women at WrestleMania. The main event was Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I enjoyed this match as they made Owens look competitive with some near falls, but Reigns was dominant, and I knew that Owens was never going to dethrone Reigns here. The real story in this match was Sami Zayn, of course, who had a torn allegiance in the storyline between the Bloodline and his friend Kevin Owens. After the match, Owens got handcuffed to the ropes where Reigns was about to smash Owens with a steel chair. Zayn stepped in between, stopping him. Reigns then handed Zayn the chair and ordered him to do the job instead. Zayn hit Reigns with the chair rather than Owens, and the crowd went from mental to absolutely explosive at this point. It was a great response. Jey Uso, who has been defending Zayn, looked absolutely crestfallen and walked away as the rest of the bloodline tore into Zayn. If you don't watch anything else from this year's Royal Rumble, watch this end segment. Everything that's been happening on TV between Sami Zayn and the bloodline came to a conclusion here, and it was a pretty electric moment overall. I can't wait to see where this storyline's going now and what they're going to do in the run-up to WrestleMania with Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. Overall, I'd give this show a B-. Not the most thrilling of Royal Rumble matches, but the right people won in the end, and the conclusion to the main event is a must-see moment in my opinion.